How much is your life worth? Not your possessions, your skills, or your career, but the days you wake up and live. Imagine someone walked up to you right now and said, "You can sell your time for money. Each day, a specific price." Would you do it? Would you trade tomorrow for cash today? That's the premise of a manga that stopped me in my tracks. It made me question everything I thought I knew about life, time, and what truly matters. It's called I Sold My Life for 10,000 Yen per Year, or 3 Days of Happiness in short. Written by Shigeru Miyake, this manga begins with a question many of us might avoid. What's the worth of your existence? It follows Kusunoki, a young man who's hit rock bottom. He's broke, lonely, and feels like a failure in every sense of the word. But then, he's offered a deal. Sell off his remaining life in exchange for money. The price? Determined by how much value your existence holds. Kusunoki's life? 10,000 yen per year. That's it. That's all his life is worth. Not millions, not even thousands. 10,000 yen. Barely enough for a meal and a roof over his head. With only 3 months left to live, he's given a choice. Squander what remains or finally live with purpose. Think about it. If someone calculated the value of your days, would it shock you? Would it break you? Or would it set you free? And with just 3 months left to live, he sets out to find meaning in the days he has left. He's not alone. A quiet, enigmatic observer named Miyagi is assigned to watch over him. At first, she's just a detached observer. But as Kusunoki's journey unfolds, she becomes something more. A guide, a companion, and a catalyst for his transformation. Let's pause for a second. Because in a way, aren't we all selling pieces of our life? Maybe not as literally as Kusunoki, but every time we choose work over passion, isolation over connection, or routine over adventure, aren't we trading time for something less valuable? We're chasing things, money, status, validation, all while the clock keeps ticking. Kusunoki's story isn't just fiction, it's a mirror. And let's face it, mirrors can be uncomfortable. As Kusunoki's story unfolded, I began to see reflections of my own life. The way he grappled with regrets, the way he learned to cherish the smallest moments. It's not a story about a grand redemption arc. It's about the quiet realization that life's value isn't in its length, but in its depth. But isn't that all of us? Waiting for some big moment to define our lives, while the beauty of living slips through our fingers? This manga reminded me that even in the darkest times, there is beauty to be found. That our lives, no matter how insignificant they may seem, hold value, not to others, but to ourselves. This manga changed me. When I first read this manga, I found myself at a crucial crossroads in life, much like Kusunoki. I was trapped in a version of life I had desperately tried to avoid, feeling stuck and disillusioned. This story forced me to confront a harsh truth. Blaming others or circumstances for my worthless and miserable life wasn't going to make it any better. It was only feeding my insecurities and keeping me shackled to my failures. This manga reminded me of something people often overlook. You are the CEO of your own life. Every decision, big or small, that led to your downfall was ultimately your own doing. But here's the empowering part. Even if your life feels worthless now, it doesn't mean it's destined to stay that way. No one can predict what life holds for you tomorrow, in the next 2 months, or even years from now. Change is always possible, no matter how hopeless things might seem. The power to turn your life around and steer it towards something meaningful lies in your hands, and your hands alone. It's never too late to rewrite your story. And perhaps the most profound lesson this manga taught me is that even if life doesn't unfold exactly as you hoped, it's still worth living. Flaws, imperfections, and all. Because sometimes, the beauty of life isn't in perfection, but in the resilience to embrace it as it is. I won't lie to you and say that reading this manga instantly fixed everything. But it gave me a perspective I desperately needed. It made me question what I was living for. Was I just going through the motions, or was I truly living? Through Kusunoki's story, I found the courage to confront my own fears and start valuing my time, to live not just for the expectations placed on me, but for the things that genuinely matter to me, because life isn't measured in money or accomplishments. It's measured in moments. And the question isn't, what's your life worth? It's, what makes it priceless? So, if you've ever felt stuck, lost, or undervalued, I urge you to read I Sold My Life for 10,000 Yen Per Year, aka 3 Days of Happiness. It's not just a story, it's a wake-up call. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same choice. Sell our time to things that don't matter, or invest it in what makes us truly alive. What will you choose? This manga might not save your life, but it could give you a spark, a reason to keep moving forward. Because sometimes, all it takes is a story to remind us of the value of our own.